Hello, and thank you for joining us in our podcast called The Growth Journey. This is a place where you will start your personal growth and development. I'm glad you're here. I am your host, Shara Hart. So, today we will talk about the word resilience, what it is about, and if this is something that you are born with or a skill set that you can develop. So, resilience is a term used in psychology to describe the capacity of people to cope with stress and catastrophe. It is also used to indicate a characteristic of resistance to future negative events, also called the risk factor. According to mental toughness partners, they define mental toughness as comprising with two things. One, resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and failures. And two, confidence, the ability to spot and seize opportunity. According to American Psychological Association, they describe resilience as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant source of stress such as family and relationship problems, serious health problems or workplace or financial stressors. It means bouncing back from difficult experiences. It has also been said that resilience is ordinary and not extraordinary, and that people commonly demonstrated resilience. And there are times we are not aware that we are bringing out our resilience. It is a great practice to have and to become aware of it. So, self awareness will come into play to help us observe this while we are experiencing it. So, resilience is skills, a behavior, a thoughts, and actions that can learn by anyone. It is not something that you and I are born with, but it is something that you and I can develop. It is also already within you, but you have to find a way how to hone it and these skills. And emotional pain, suffering, and sadness are common to all of us, and no one is exemption to this. We are all feeling all those emotion, pain, and suffering. And each of one of us had experienced adversity and trauma in some ways in our previous life or currently we are experiencing it and suffering, but how you and I handle the situation is different. How we can turn our life around and get to the right directions, and how we are able to face it, bounce back, and not only bounce back but thrive with it, and that takes resilience. So being resilient doesn't mean that they do not experience any distress or difficulties. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Most of the time, they've been through so many tough times, adversity, trauma, stress, emotional pain, or what have you. However, they managed to become above it and thrive with it. And not just survive, but thrive with it. So you see, if your goal is to survive in life, then yes, you will survive. But then when faced with another challenge, perhaps a major one, either you survive that one or just can't get it up. When you feel a challenge again, a major one, sometimes when you trying to find a way to get over it, you can't. Sometimes you just giving up because you're get used to just being surviving, and you need to learn how to become above it, and that is thriving with it. So let's take a pause for a minute and talk about surviving and thriving. Since I already mentioned it today, might as well expand a little bit more. So surviving is a very different than thriving. Surviving is something that you just do it today and deal with it as it comes. And surviving is something that you just do it and be done with it, right? You may or may not learn from it, from this experience, but you tell yourself, well, at least I survived. Those are common word or phrases that we say sometimes to ourselves or to others. On the other hand, the thriving, when you aim or your goal is to thrive, then you are becoming bigger than what the problem is. You yourself are becoming bigger. Whatever comes your way, you just know how to deal with it with ease and confidence. And when you do have been thriving all your life, and this so important one, it changes you on how you look at things around you. You don't see challenges as a problem any longer, rather than you see them as an opportunity to learn from what you have experienced. And that's the difference between surviving in life and thriving in life. So aim to thrive, not to survive. You have to be bigger than the problem is. You have to be bigger yourself first than the problem is. So, how do you hone your skills in terms of resilience? So, here are some great ways to build your resilience. So, number one, make connections. Find someone who you know that are emotionally stable and strong and who have demonstrated a trait of resilience, either with your loved ones, friends, or family, and build a strong relationship with them. You will need to be very selective to whom you would like to build this connection with and to whom can show you and provide you the support that you need. Establish other important connections by volunteering or joining a faith or spiritual community. Also, get help or ask for help. It is not a sign of weakness when asking for help. To those who care for you, to those who care for you the most, will help you get back on track and get back on your feet. And you don't feel alone facing the situation. When you need help, ask for it. To number two, learn from experience. As we have learned in one of our previous episodes that we are not just learning from experience but evaluated our experiences so you can make a change and make improvement and evolve. Look at our lives as we evolve. Life is not a straight line. There's always mountains and valleys, ups and downs. And in the downtime, this is where the experience will come from and our opportunity to evaluate it and make improvements. And by evaluating and learning from our experiences, we do two things. Letter A, we avoid seeing the crisis we have as too great to overcome. Rather, it is an opportunity for growth and for us to evolve. B, when we see crisis as an opportunity to learn and to grow, we will then accept that change is part of living, and mistakes is part of living, and also failure is part of living. It's all part of it in our lives. That's how you build the resilience. Also, the way to overcome this is to think of how you've coped with hardship in the past. How did you handle it when you were in setbacks and trying to get back up? And what was the outcome? So knowing what you know now, how would you handle it differently the next time? If it ever comes around, how you handle it differently next time? And what would you do differently the next time around? And this is example of evaluated experience. Learn from it, make a change, and do better next time. I myself still learning to evaluate every experiences that I have and the lessons that I have learned and how I can improve. It never ends. Truly not. It changes every time. It evolves and all the time, but I know I get better every time I do it. So that's important. So if you're making progress and you're learning something from it, you are making a progress. Progress is what you need. I also found out that working on myself, true story, working for myself alone is a full-time job. Seriously, I coach myself all the time, and that's how I learned. I say to myself, well, self, what are you doing? Didn't we talk about this before? Didn't you learn something from this? And why are you doing this again? So working on myself, or even to yourself, is truly a full-time job. So you have to be patient to yourself as well as you go through this. So remember to consider the skills and strategies that help you through the tough times. You might even write about it or past experiences that you have in a journal, in a personal growth journal, to help you identify positive and negative behavior patterns. and identify those and find out how you can improve, how you make change with it, and if it's a positive one, how can you do more of it and how you can expand from it. So it's not just evaluating negative behavior, it's also the positive one. If you go back to my previous episode topic, look for your strength. We always have a strength, our strength zone. So explore more on that strength zone, the positive one, and then figure out what the weakness one, your negative one. And this will guide you to your future, and if it comes back again, and you were ready. So the third one is take decisive action. When your decisions as active choices, not sacrifices. Remember that. So view your decisions as active choices and not sacrifices. This helps maintain a sense of control over the situation. This will also keep your motivation high. The least thing you wanted to do is inaction, that you do not do anything. You gotta take action. So part of building your resilience is to get up faster. So a great example of this is the Olympians. The Olympians do this all the time. The difference between getting the bronze medal and gold medal is that gold medalists, they get up quicker and faster, and that's it. When they had setbacks, they made a decision right away. And if you wanted to learn more about resilience, watch how Olympians do it. And that's how they do it. When there are setbacks, they don't linger with it at all. So don't linger with it at all, but rather they get up, you get up quicker and faster. So that's how gold medalists do it. Number 4, make every day meaningful. So do something that gives you a sense of accomplishment and purpose every day. And set goals to help you look forward or toward into your future with meaning. Every day is an opportunity. It's really, really sad that a lot of people, majority of people, waking up in the morning and they just do nothing. They just wake up and they do not know what their purpose on that day. They don't have agenda. It's good to have not agenda all the time, but you have to have a purpose that you are excited about to do or doing. So find meaningful every day. What you want to learn today. What you want to do today that you haven't done before. Or make a goal of it and find out what your purpose is. Number 5, take care of yourself. Nurture a positive view of yourself. Tend to your own needs and feelings and participate in activities and habits you enjoy the most, and also include physical activity in your daily routine, such as exercise, go to the gym, or what have you. Get plenty of sleep. I like sleep. I have to have at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep, otherwise I get cranky. So I make sure that sleep is very important to me. I like to get that sleep, get going, and figure out the rest. And eat healthy diet, as we all know, and practice stress management and relaxation techniques, such as yoga, if you do that, meditation, guided imaginary deep breathing, and for some of you have a bigger faith, they do prayers every day. Anything that will help you to feel good physically and mentally, because self-care is very important, and you have to look up to yourself too. Number 6, be proactive, and don't ignore your problems. That's a big no-no. When you ignore your problems, it's just gonna get worse. Instead, figure out what needs to be done, make a plan, and take action. Again, don't linger with it. Always look for solutions. And if you cannot figure it out in your own, then ask for help. Remember, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it will save you time to figure things out on your own. And remember, get up quicker and faster, like what Olympian gold medalists do it. And don't sit around or sit on it for the long time. You gotta take actions and find solutions to how to deal with it. It does take time to recover from a major setback, traumatic event, or a loss. Know that your situation can improve over time if you work at it all the time, and sometimes it takes time to heal, especially if it's a major one. So just do it one step at a time, one day at a time, every day, and in due time, you will get back up. You will, especially if you're doing it all the time. So resilience cannot exist without hope. That's the thing, you gotta have hope when you build resilience. You've got to have a faith that you will overcome with it. It is a capacity to be hopeful that carries us through challenges, disappointments, loss, and traumatic stress. So for example, in speaking of hope, the child who is capable of thinking that things will be better, that the bad feelings and situation he or she now faces will improve, will be more resilient. So children with strong religious beliefs survives traumatic stress and fewer symptoms, and with fewer destructive emotional effects than those without such beliefs. So it is important to teach our children early on in their life about resilience. It is our job as parents to teach our kids to be resilient, because children's cognitive abilities also affect their ability to be resilient. The child who learns quickly and can learn from only a few experiences will have an easier time drawing upon his or her own experiences and his or her capacity to imagine a future that is happier and safer. So, for example, we can encourage our kids and introduce them on how to ride a bike, in which they will experience falling all the time. All the time, they will experience falling on their bikes and perhaps getting a few scratches here and there. So when they've learned to get up quickly and faster, they will learn from these setbacks, and soon enough, they know how to ride a bike. And that's a great way to develop resilience for our children while they are young. To let them experience to fall, make mistakes, get a few scratches along the way, but don't linger with it. Instead, get back up quicker and faster and do it again. Another note is, if you are a leader, so let's say you are managing a team or leading a team, it requires a lot of emotional intelligence when you are a leader, isn't it? So people always look up to you. Even if you are a leader, you're still a human being. You get anger at times. You feel stress. You felt alone, and all other emotional pain that you are going through, and that is okay. That is okay, because you are a human being. However, if you have to balance them out, you have to balance to have the right amount of anger, the right amount of compassion, understanding, empathy, and you are experiencing all of this all in one time, in the right time and in the right place. So resilience should start from you by showing your people how resilience works. You do it first. Do not expect your people to know how to be resilient or tell them to be resilient, because in the midst of the business, that is, especially if it's not doing well, it is the down cycle, perhaps the business, and when the sales and quota is not meeting or the revenue targets not meeting, you have to do it first to bounce back up faster and quicker from the setbacks, and your people will follow suit. If they see you do it, your people will follow suit. Leaders always lead by example, always have and always will be. So in closing, here are a few quotes about resilience that I want you to remember by. So Mary Holloway have said, resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and the responsibility to pick yourself up. Isn't it true? No one will pick yourself up except yourself. So get back up faster and quicker. And my favorite, Nelson Mandela, have said, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. And lastly, resilience is very different than being numb. Resilience means you experience, you feel, you fail, you hurt, you fall, but you keep going. So I hope you have learned something today about resilience. It is not easy, not at all. It's not easy by any means. It's a journey, a life skills that needs to be learned, to hone, and to practice every day. Well, that is what our life is about anyway. There's no straight formula. There's no straight line that you can follow through. There's no direction for you. Everybody have to figure things out. We are always figure things out as we go, especially when we have setbacks, make mistakes, and have failures. And these are all necessary and necessity to our growth. So a few reminder for you if you are the first time listeners and this is your first time tuning in into our podcast, and I thank you and welcome you to our growth journey. You are tuning in because perhaps someone referred you to our podcast, or you may have found us in a website or via ad, whatever the reason might be. You are tuning in because you knew that you can be more and you have potential to grow, but you just don't know where to start or to begin. And who can help you to get there? And I'm glad you choose to listen to our podcast and you made the right decision to be here. So feel free to subscribe so you will get notifications and keep you up to date for the new episodes that we are releasing every Sundays. And you can listen to it anytime you want. And that's the beauty about podcasts. Also, if you think this podcast had helped you in some ways, had inspired you and given you courage from today's lessons or from the previous past episodes, please share this episode to anyone you know, to anyone that either your friends, family, colleagues, workmates, your neighbors, people you just met somewhere, or whoever. And feel free to share this podcast so they too can learn for all the lessons that we are learning here. No matter how old or experienced or young they are, everyone needs to grow. There are plenty of room to grow and improvement. Practice on having abundance mindset and beginner's mindset. There are so many things that we need to learn and experience in our life and in our world. We haven't scratched the surface yet. This is just the beginning. And when you do share our podcast to someone, and you too are making a difference to their lives. Because our goal on this podcast is to make an impact and make a difference to the lives of others. In one person at a time, even just one person at a time, in one community at a time, or in one nation at a time. So keep those in mind when you do share of this podcast to someone. You too are making a difference to their lives. And the last piece that I would like to mention, that if you would like to start investing in your own personal growth and take this complimentary podcast episodes or this free podcast episode to the next level and help you to become more and to be more, take that next step forward and join me and other members that we have in my membership program. As a trainer, coach, and mentor myself, I am now opening up the opportunity for you all to join my membership club. All our deeper dive teaching on the 15 valuable laws of growth today matters. Deeper dive on connecting to help you to become a better connector. And if you are a leader, to help you to become a better leader for your team and to become a better salesperson so you can sell anything and everything. And more importantly, to expand your personal growth and development. And this is for you. In our premium membership subscription, we will provide many tools and resources available to you to equip you and to help you to reach your full potential. I will share many resources and tools that is only available to our premium membership and many bonuses offerings. So to learn more, you can visit our podcast website at www.cherylhart@padbean.com. To sign up, you have to visit to this website because our premium membership is not available. You cannot find them in iTunes or Google Play. Only the complimentary one that you can find in iTunes and Google Play. So you have to go to www.cherylhart@padbean.com to sign up and to get more details about the premium. You can select either bi-weekly, which is $14 US dollars, monthly, which is $25 US dollars, or yearly premium subscription of $275 US dollars, which is include a discount. This information are also listed via text box for your reference in this episode, so feel free to scroll down and look at the text box and you can find the information there too. So if you truly want to invest in your own personal growth and would like to improve as to where you are today and where you want it to be, join us. And I look forward to see you there. I'm going to work with you in your own personal growth. You can also reach me via email at cheryl@cheryliheart.com. So with that, always remember, if you don't invest in your own personal growth, no one will. Take care and be well.